In signing statements, the President, has consistently made clear that the executive branch must have the flexibility to act swiftly in conducting negotiations with foreign countries regarding the circumstances of detainee transfers if necessary. And that was certainly the case here.
White House Press Secretary Jay Carney earlier today defending the administration's swap of 5 Gitmo detainees for Sergeant Bo Bergdahl, who had been held hostage for nearly 5 years. But my next guest says President Obama and his team may have committed federal crimes when they okayed this swap. Judge Anna Napolitano is our Fox News senior judicial analyst. Jay Carney there referring to the signing statement the president attached to the law that required that he notify Congress but with 30 days if he intended on making such a swap. It was just a notification that would have been required. Even that proved to be too burdensome to the president, who had tried to notify Congress about such an act in the past, only to be beaten back on it. This time he decided to skip it.
Well, Congress should not be surprised that the president did not comply with his obligations to notify them, because the president has a regular, consistent, systematic pattern of deciding which laws to comply with and which not to comply with.
Well, and here he offered a signing statement on this law saying, well, maybe I'll comply with it, maybe I won't, which they didn't much like when President Bush did.
Correct. As if a signing statement, a piece of paper he signs at the time he signs the law into existence, changes the law. It doesn't under our system. But, Megan, this is by far the lesser of the 2 laws that he violated. He and his team violated the federal statute which makes criminal providing material assistance to a terrorist organization. This includes money. This includes ceramic mugs. This includes maps. This includes professional services. And this includes releasing human assets back to a terrorist organization. President Obama's Justice Department has successfully prosecuted people for providing material assistance to terrorist organizations, and now he himself has done so by letting these 5 guys loose.
In order to convict of providing material support to terrorists, not only do you have to prove the defendant did that, but you also have to prove that he knew or intended that the support would be used to carry out a terrorist attack. You don't have that's not here, Judge.
The president is not going to be prosecuted. But
he's not, because he didn't violate the law.
He violated the law by allowing assets to go back to a terrorist organization. You can't erect a telephone pole. You can't repair a laptop. You can't repair a tooth if you're a dentist for these organizations without violating federal statutes.
I don't agree with you on the statute, but I will tell you why I think you're raising an interesting point. Because everyone keeps saying this is what we do at the end of wars. You know, there's a prisoner swap where we get their prisoners of war, they get ours. But this is a different kind of war. This is an ongoing war on terror where these Taliban terrorists have never given up their willingness and determination to take up arms against the United States.
Look, Jay Carney just said the president has the power to negotiate with foreign governments. He does. This isn't a foreign government. This is an organization that the Bush administration and the Obama administration until this weekend has condemned and waged war against. A violent war and a war in the courts. The president cannot on his own decide, well, these are people that we're going to negotiate with.
Right.
Because he has sworn an oath to enforce statutes, and the statutes prohibit him from doing that.
And so now it's not like dealing with a nation state where there's accountability in the way that, you know, if Japan doesn't live up to the peace agreement, the world will condemn. It's the Taliban. He was being held by the Haqqani network, you know, affiliated with al-Qaeda. Whom do we hold responsible, and how do we hold them responsible if these guys wind up bombing us again?
The answer is we can't hold anybody responsible if these guys end up organizing military or intelligence operations again. I think they really, really blew this. I think they did not consider both the substance and the symbolism of what the President of the United States has done. If the FBI entraps somebody into thinking he's helping a terrorist organization, whereas in reality he's not, he's working with FBI agents who are pretending to be the Taliban, that person can be prosecuted and convicted. The President did far more than that. The President released their major assets back to them. If that's not helping them, if that's not providing them with assistance, if that's not the behavior that the statute was intended to prevent from happening, I don't know what is.
But the second part of the statute requires intent that the support be used to cause harm against us.
You're such a lawyer, Kelly.
Good to see you, Judge.
Good to see you.
Well, one of the most dramatic developments